You're watching the Sports Political channel of LB. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Let's get down to business. Now, before we cook on the present, we need to take a trip down memory lane and rehash the scenarios that got us to this point right here. Now, we got to go all the way back to 2014 because I'm going to break some moves down that got us to this point where we're at right now. Because if you understand how things work, especially in your life, right? The decisions you made got you to this point where you're at in life. Whether you are toward your goal or away from your goal, the decisions you made in that process got you to where you are right now. So for this part of the video, we're going to talk about some things that took place that got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to the Clippers. Now, I started in 2014 because that's when the organization promoted Lawrence Frank to GM. Okay? Now, Lawrence Frank joined the Clippers in September 2014 after a time with the Brooklyn Nets that saw him hired as Jason Kidd's lead assistant. Then he got reassigned to do game reports 2 months later. He worked as an assistant under Doc Rivers for 2 seasons, but then he was moved into a front office role, getting promoted to vice president of basketball operations in the summer of 2016. So in essence, he replaced Doc Rivers, who was serving as a dual coach and team president. The change allowed Rivers to focus only on coaching the team, rather than, hey, I got to coach the team, then I got to do my front office role. Okay. In 2018 and 2019, Lawrence Frank finished third in the voting for Executive of the Year. The second move that they made was hire Jerry West. Now, we all know Jerry West's history with the Lakers, right? It's well documented, right? From a player to GM, brought the Lakers many championships. I don't know why the Lakers decided to sour their relationship with Jerry West, but it is what it is, right? So Jerry West at one point was a consultant for the Golden State Warriors. And he was a 2-time Executive of the Year. And he had influence in those positions with the Golden State Warriors and the Lakers. Now, Jerry West was the Lakers general manager in '82. He played in the role of building 4 of the 5 championship teams in the '80s. Jerry West was also credited for trading for Kobe Bryant in the '96 NBA draft. Now, West has been a pivotal figure in convincing superstar free agents to join teams, shifting the landscape of the NBA in the process. Most recently, he played a key role in recruiting efforts to get KD to the Warriors in 2016. West also got Shaq to sign with LA in '96. Remember, Shaq was on Orlando in '96, and there was some other stuff that led to Shaq going to the Lakers as well, right? The Clippers also made moves to build one of the biggest front office staffs in the game. They hired OKC executive Michael Winger to be their GM. Then a few days later, Trent Redon, who was a former Cavs executive, was brought on to be the assistant GM. And then the following year, they hired Lee Jenkins from Sports Illustrated to be the executive director. The third move that they made was the Chris Paul trade. So in the 2017 playoffs, where the Clippers lost yet again, Chris Paul said he wanted to go to the Houston Rockets and join James Harden. At that time, Houston didn't have the cap space to land him, so rather than opting out of the final year of his deal, Paul opted in to facilitate a trade. Now, the Clippers acquired 7 players in that deal. A first-round pick, cash for Chris Paul, but the three cornerstones were Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, and Montrezl Harrell. So the Clippers got those three players and made them an attractive destination for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. The fourth move that they made was turning Jamal Crawford into Danilo Gallinari. Now, the Paul trade was most significant, but LA made another key move that summer to turn a player who wanted to leave into a valuable piece. LA they traded six-man extraordinaire Jamal Crawford, center Diamond Stone, and a first-round pick they got from Houston in the Paul trade to the Atlanta Hawks with landed Danilo Gallinari. Gallinari became the team's top offensive option, and then that was a key part of the Paul George trade. We'll talk about that later. The fifth move they did was re-sign Blake Griffin, and then they immediately traded him. That's when Blake Griffin went to the Detroit Pistons. 6 months, because remember, he signed a 5-year, $173 million extension in the summer of 2017. And then 6 months later, he was traded to the Detroit Pistons, getting multiple players and draft picks that were then cashed in for more assets. That full trade was for Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, Boban Marjanovic, 2018 first-round pick, and the 2019 second-round pick from the Detroit Pistons. Tobias Harris proved, and the first-round pick proved to be the most important assets in that particular trade. The sixth move that they made in the 2018 NBA draft, they moved up in the draft to draft Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. All right. So the Clippers and the Detroit Pistons missed the playoffs that year. So you had LA had the number 12 and 13 picks. That pick, the extra one, proved to be essential when the Clippers traded away the number 12 pick and the second rounder to the Charlotte Hornets to move up one spot to draft Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Matter of fact, he played this college ball like Kentucky. So then you had the trade of Tobias Harris, right? So 3 days before that season's trade deadline, you had Tobias Harris hit a game winner to beat the Charlotte Hornets and move the Clippers in the sole position, 8th place in the West. Hours later, he was then traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, where he currently is now. The Clippers, had they were trying to make a run in the Eastern Conference. So the Clippers received the Sixers' first rounder in 2020 with an unprotected 2021 first-round pick via the Miami Heat and 2 second-round selections. In addition, they got sharpshooting guard Landry Shamet, who eventually moved to the starting lineup. The next move that they made was they got Mo Harkless and a first-rounder. So when free agency hit, Clippers got themselves involved in a superstar deal, but not for themselves. Instead, they inserted themselves into the Jimmy Butler signing trade, using remaining cap space to help the Miami Heat and the Portland Trail Blazers complete a complicated transaction, because this was during the time where Jimmy Butler, I believe, was with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he was going to go to the Miami Heat. There was rumblings about him going to the Heat during that particular time. Now, as part of the 14 trade, Clippers walked away with Mo Harkless plus another first rounder from Miami for their troubles. Harkless had an expiring $11 million contract. Meanwhile, those extra draft picks proved essential in trading for Paul George. Now, after spending 2 years wheeling and dealing to acquire the pieces, the Clippers finally went all in and got Paul George from OKC. Now, when Paul George was with the Indiana Pacers, right, because that's the team that drafted Paul George, after so many years in Indiana, let the Pacers organization know that he did not intend on re-signing with them. Paul George had aspirations of going to the Lakers. Then, what ended up happening was Kawhi Leonard, who just came off a championship with Toronto Raptors, signed with the Clippers, went to the organization. Hey, we need to make this trade for Paul George, right? But they pulled it off. Clippers sent 5 draft picks, 2 pick swaps, 2 players in Gallinari and SGA to get Paul George. 3 of those 5 picks and 2 of the pick swaps came for the Clippers themselves. The other pieces came from transactions the Clippers conducted to remake their team in the post-Lob City era. So you had all that going on, right? Why did they play between Paul George and goddamn old Kawhi Leonard? Since 2019 to 2023, why these guys only played a total of 96 games together? Now, who's up in the building? Because I was saying a lot, and I ain't want to get my thing thrown off. What's up, Steve Alexander, B. Skrills, Amir Ahmad, my sister Unique Gun? You and I could go on a date one day. Trade Nights, Josh Johnson, Be Easy, my man Deshaun Glenn, Randy Bronzman. Appreciate y'all for being up in here. Why these dudes only play a total of 96 games together? Because remember, when these two when they came together in 2019, what was people saying? Oh man, this Clippers team right here, man, this team will go all the way, man. Hey, they about to run the NBA. Slim 21 was good. Tyler Brown, what's up? Y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. Cause see, the Clippers apologists and the groupie loving fanboys, they're not gonna come on this platform here and try to challenge me on this shit. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. Cause see, when you have the facts on your side, all that dick licking and pom pom, jumping and all that shit, it ain't gonna fucking cut it over here. Ain't gonna cut it over here. Now, let's investigate what the Clippers have done since 2019. Let's do that. Now, currently, before we do that, they say 8th in the Eastern Conference at 23-24. They just came off 2 consecutive losses. They lost more games than that, okay? Because they lost more games than that. But I'm talking about they got their ass whooped by the Sixers at home, despite the fact that James Harden only scored 6 points. So let me get this straight. Y'all got your asses beat by the goddamn Sixers and James Harden only scored 6 points? Make that make sense. James Harden only scored 6 fucking points that night, and they still beat y'all by 10? Then on the back-to-back, you go to Utah and get destroyed by Utah. Terrence Mann, where the fuck was you at last night? Yeah, because you cost me money, motherfucker. Terrence Mann cost me money last night because he failed to show up. Norman Powell and Zubac, which the Lakers inexplicably traded for, and please don't get me started on that, because I'm still pissed off at that trade. The Lakers traded Zubac? What the? Anyway, Zubac and Norman Powell were the only 2 that played anything last night. Marcus Morris, where was you at? Because, this team's still getting owned by the Denver Nuggets. Just disgusting. Okay, 2019-2020 season, right? 49-23. It was second in the Western Conference. They blew the 3-1 lead against the Denver Nuggets in the bubble. Remember that? Y'all remember that? They blew that 3-1 lead in the bubble. 2020, 2021. They made the Western Conference Finals, and I believe that was the first time in their history they made the Western Conference Finals. They lost in 6 games to the Phoenix Suns, who ended up losing to the Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games for the Bucks' first championship in 50 years. So that's 2020, 2021, right? 2021, 2022, right? Oh, by the way, when they lost, they blew that 3-1 lead in the bubble. That's when Doc Rivers got fired, and they replaced him with Tyronn Lue, right? So that year they finished 4th in the Western Conference at 47-25, lost in the Western Conference Finals. (2021, 2022) finished 42-40. That was good for 8th in the Eastern Conference. And remember, they lost in the play-in game to the Timberwolves. And as I said before, they're currently 8th in the Eastern Conference with a 23-24 record. So how do you explain that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, these two, were all that wheeling and dealing they were doing, for them to only play 96 games together? 96! Now these dudes ain't hardly played. These dudes ain't hardly played this year. Let's break this shit down further, right? Let's break this shit down further. Hold on. Trying to find something real quick. Hope everyone having a good day so far, man. Make sure you hit that like button, sub to the channel. You know, we trying to make some moves right here. YouTube ain't out here putting the screws to me. Okay, here we go. If we go back to the beginning of the year, right? Their first game in the new year was January 2nd. They lost to Miami. January 5th, they lost to Denver. January 6th, they lost to Minnesota. January 8th, they lost to Atlanta. They beat the Dallas Mavericks on January the 10th. They turn around and lose again to the Denver Nuggets on the 13th. They beat the Houston Rockets, which ain't saying much because the Houston Rockets are one of the worst teams in the league. And then, like I said, they got beat up by Philadelphia and they got blown up by Utah. So since the beginning of January, they've only won 2 games since the beginning of the year. They're 2-7 so far in January. If you go back to December, let's see. Back to December. December 3rd, lose to the Kings. They got blown out by the Kings, 123-96. They beat the Chicago Bulls by 2. They lose to the Orlando Magic, 116-111. Turns around on the next night, lose to the Miami Heat, 115-110. They beat the Washington Wizards, 114-107. I knew that because I was at another venue that night. They blew out the Boston Celtics, beat the Timberwolves by 11 on the 14th. Then on the 15th, they lose to the They lose to the Phoenix Suns, 111-95. They beat the Wizards again, 102-93. Beat the Bulls again, 126-105. They lose to the Sixers, 119-114. They beat the Detroit Pistons, 142-131. That game ended up going like double overtime. They turned around on the next day, beat the Raptors, and then they went on like a 6-game losing streak going into the new year. because they lost to Boston, Indiana, Miami, Denver, Minnesota, and Atlanta before they beat the Dallas Mavericks. And now they lost 3 of their last 4, losing to Denver, Philadelphia, and Utah while beating Houston. This team has a lot of issues. And, you know, hey, if you want to come in and talk about what's wrong with the Clippers, well, there's the link right there. You want to come in and talk about what's wrong with the LA Clippers, right? I mean, no team chemistry. I'm pretty sure there's some finger pointing and backbiting and guys not happy with their role because you're playing 30 minutes one night, 12 minutes the next night, 25 minutes one night, 10 minutes the next night. So guys got inconsistent role. When you have inconsistent role, that means you have inconsistent production because these two can't stay on the court, whether it be by injury, hey, I'm going to go on a sabbatical, because, I need to get my hair done, nail done, everything did, right? There's just too much of this going on. Divine Unity, what's up, bro? There's too much of this drama going on with the Clippers. These guys out here being divas. These guys out here don't want to play for whatever inexplicable reason. Now, one of these years, matter of fact, it was the 2021 season when you had, what's up, 3,000 Degrees? What's up, Tessie? Kawhi Leonard got hurt in that Utah Jazz series, and he was out all year last year. When he tore his ACL in that playoff series against the Utah Jazz, and he was out all last year. For context, that's one thing I forgot to throw in there, right? And last year you had a lot of Clipper fanboys and all that coming out saying that this guy was going to play last year, and obviously they don't comprehend well, considering that when you tear an ACL, right? What's the injury timeline for an ACL? At least a year. At least a year. So if he tore his ACL, was like playoffs in like May, April, May. So you tear your ACL in May and he's going to come back in September to start the season? Are you? What's up, bro?
What's up, man? I'm trying to figure out where you been the last 2 years when I was saying that 3 years ago.
And I'll admit you called it, bro. You called this shit from the word jump. Because you and I talked about this. You and I talked about it.
I told you. Yep, I told you. I told you that motherfuckers was making too big a deal out of this. And this wasn't that. Not only did I not think it was going to equal a championship, that they probably wasn't going to play together as much anyway. And since this has happened, man, Kawhi and Paul George have played together less than AD and LeBron, than Kyrie and KD.
These dudes played only 96 games in 4 years, bro.
They played the equivalent LB of a motherfucker regular season, and look, they played 96 games. That's exactly how many games you would play if you went to the finals.
So that's 96. That's 82 plus the playoffs.
Yeah, plus the playoffs. No, as a matter of fact, they too short of a playoff run. It's supposed to be 96.
And that's assuming they sweep some people, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's just So let's just look at it from that standpoint, y'all. They've been together for 4 years. And literally you could put all of the time they played together in one season.
I was like, what the hell is going on? These dudes, man. Hey, look, and with the money they getting paid, man, look, Steve, you know Steve Ballmer got to be fucking pissed, bro.
And that's my thing. Anybody were talking that shit about LeBron and AD, you look dumb. Because guess what? At least they got a ring.
Yeah. Yes, they got a ring to show for it. These dudes ain't got nothing to show for it.
And they been to the playoffs 4 straight years. Think about that. They've been in the tournament the last 4 years. You just ain't see them 2 niggas that you got up there very much. It's been Reggie Jackson and if motherfuckers knew 4 years ago when the Clippers got Paul George and Kawhi that Reggie Jackson would end up probably the last year their most important player, niggas would have been like, I'm hating. You know that's what they would have said. You hate me, you just don't like the Clippers. But now that we done seen the proof is in the pudding, I'm right.
I mean, look at this shit, man. Paul George played in 48 games that year, but part of that was due to the pandemic and the bubble and shit. The next year, he played 54 games. Last year, he only played 31 games.
He said, look, I played too many games the year before. I need to cut back some. I was on that floor too long, man. I need to cut this shit back, man. They getting spoiled. They think they gonna have me all the time. They need to know I ain't gonna save them all the time. That's Paul George rationale for why he don't play all the time. These niggas get spoiled. If I play all the time, they gonna get spoiled and count on me all the time. They need to know that I might get hurt one day.
Then you go to Kawhi. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. Yeah, we need to get on him too.
Yep, you go to Kawhi. He played 57 games that first year, played 52 games the next year, didn't play at all that third year because I talked about the ACL injury. And then this year, he only played 22 games. This motherfucker literally missed half the season, bro.
Hey, look, I seen him play the other day. I said, yeah, man, this how I know this nigga ain't been playing. I'm happy to see him on the floor. I said, is that Kawhi? Wow, I ain't seen him in a long time. Look, you start saying shit like this. You ain't seen Kawhi Leonard playing so long, niggas start asking questions like, is Kawhi still alive? Niggas think he died or something. Thought he died from COVID.
Yeah. And hey, you remember when he first came back? You remember when he first came back from his first injury, right? He had nerve to berate the Clippers and all that and shit. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. I
was like, motherfucker, you weren't even here. Dude. You over there ragging on the Clippers, you ain't even hardly been there.
So that motherfucker been gone so long, L, that they didn't know who the fuck he was when he came to practice one day. Who was this guy? They call security and shit. Security, it's a trespasser in here. No, it's me, the claw, Kawhi. Oh, remember this? Oh, we know who you are. He said, hold on. Y'all don't know who I am. Hold on. Let me
That motherfucker, little pass to get inside the door, what didn't work no more.
Damn, that's fucked up. Dashawn, my man Dashawn Glenn Randy Bronzeman said Anthony Davis has a fractured bone in his foot. Kawhi and Paul George are just load managed. Them niggas just don't feel like playing. This shit, niggas don't feel like playing. I just don't feel it. Man, do that shit too much at your job. Y'all try to load manage like Kawhi and Paul George, see if you'll get fired from the McDonald's.
Hell yeah. So we need this chicken nuggets yesterday. What the fuck you doing back there? Man, I'm load manager, man. You know what I'm saying? I got my head hurt cooking all these nuggets, man.
I'm just not feeling it, man. These nuggets. I'm just not feeling it. I'm a load manage today. No, motherfucker, you can load manage the rest of the week. You don't have no goddamn job.
You ain't get 3 days off of the week.
Right.
I put the link to the One LVZ's channel in the comment section. Y'all go subscribe to my man right here. Y'all go subscribe to the homie.
Yeah, subscribe to the joke. So I promise I won't load manage on the videos like Kawhi did. Hey, I promise to be there. I promise I won't load manage on y'all.
I tell you, man, you was crazy as hell.
Where LVZ at? That nigga load managing. He load managing. He ain't doing no videos. He load managing videos.
I swear to God, man, I can't go nowhere with you.
Look, motherfuckers was arguing me down, motherfuckers was literally dedicating their whole channel talking about how Kawhi better than LeBron and Kawhi. Look, LeBron is terrified of Kawhi. Shit, LeBron ain't even seen Kawhi in 3 years. LeBron is so not scared of Kawhi. That nigga put. Did you see? You didn't see last week. LeBron put Kawhi's face on a milk carton and asked and offered $25,000 for his safe return. He got abducted by the hospital. That's it. They said the hospital abducted him.
He got with a straight jacket in the fucking.
Nah, they put a knee brace on him and won't take it off. They snatched that nigga up and put a knee brace on him, y'all, and with a handcuff to the knee brace. LeBron been looking for this nigga for 3 years.
Oh, sorry, man.
Y'all know
I really left my ass off back here.
Motherfucker, true. That's Paul George. Ain't the same guy checked in the rehab because his hoe wasn't with him in the bubble. George, he's the same guy that because his hoes wasn't around. My hoe gone. I met her at a strip club. Come on, man.
Gideon, what you got, bro?
Yo, what's cracking, slacking? Well,
Oh
the load management clip. The load management Clippers are going down the sewer right now, man. I mean, the load management Clippers are going down the sewer, man. I mean, I mean, dude, the 3-point, their defense is inconsistent as hell. Their offense is an abomination to this point. Reggie Jackson's been terrible this year. Kawhi and PG are not being accountable at all, not leading the team. Ty Lulu's clueless right now. This team's been a clusterfuck. Think about this, guys. The Clippers started off 21-15. They lost 9 of the last 11 games because they don't guard the perimeter consistently. Their offense has been a joke. They don't move the ball. They're not playing with any intensity, man. And it's a problem.
And you forgot one thing, nephew. And their best player is Ivica Zubac.
That's pitiful. That's crazy.
See what I'm saying? That He's been their best, most consistent player this year has been Ivica Zubac.
Puka crazy, huh? That's abysmal if you're the Clippers, though. Think about this. Paul George has missed 16 games. Kawhi Leonard has missed 25 games. Like John Wall on a hospital bed again. He's gonna be out for a while. Like even when this team were healthy, this team doesn't look like they're connected. You know, even when this team were healthy, this team is not consistently connected right now, and that's an issue if you're the Clippers, though. Right now, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place to this point.
Well, look. The one thing they can say is right that they better than any other Clipper team used to be.
Boy, those Clipper teams were horrible, wasn't it? When you got Michael Oliver Candy and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saying, at least they because I was telling a buddy of mine that he talked about, man, we going to the Western Conference Final. I said, man, y'all one and done, man. Y'all are one series and done.
The way it looks right now, unless they get their head out their ass, this team might not even make the playoffs the way they're playing right now.
That's true.
Because look at the standings right now. Before you go, look at the standings right now, right? The Clippers are tied with the Thunder in the standings. They're the 8th seed right now. Did you think that before the year?
I mean, honestly, kinda. I've never been sold on the Clippers. I did like the addition of John Wall. But like you said, that man back in the hospital bed again, man.
Missed 13 games this year. John was missed 13 games this year.
John Wall should have came home to the Wizards, bro. Shit.
He might as well.
And Reggie Jackson. And also Reggie Jackson's been horrible this year. He's been horrible this year.
Yeah, he's out the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker ain't even in the rotation. You know who he started when John Wall went down, right? You know who they started his place at the point guard? Terrence Mann.
Crazy.
Yeah, I saw that shit. He ain't been getting no time.
Terrence Mann is more of a forward.
Yeah, Terrence Mann ain't a point guard. That's for damn sure. Mm-hmm. The problem is that Reggie Jackson turned back to Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, one of them players where if he have a good year, the next 2 years gonna be subpar.
Agreed. And also Luke Kennard has been up and down. Nick Batum's been up and down. Norman Powell's
been garbage. Okay?
Yeah, Nick Batum's been garbage this year. Yeah, Nick Batum's been garbage this year. Robert Covington has been bad this year. Norman Powell's not really had an impact this year. This team,
Norman Powell been the worst one for me.
I mean, this team was supposed to grab the West by the throat. Right now, they're stuck in the Bermuda Triangle at this point, man.
They're getting grabbed by the throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like LB, think about this. The Oklahoma City Thunder are tied with the Clippers in the standings. OKC, we're talking about here.
Well, like LBZ said, right? Look, we knew OKC coming in was going to be a team that's going to be like, oh man, we just going to roll this team this year. Nah.
Right.
They well coached. Mm-hmm. They got a guy in SGA and Josh Giddey who out there get buckets and shit.
And they have young players. Right. And they're good young players. You have Mike Muscala, you have Kendrick Williams, you have the Waters, the Williams brothers. They have good young talent, though. You have SGA should be an all-star. Josh Giddey has had a great year. I mean, Pogashevsky, yeah, they're a fun team to watch. Mark Dorn.
Well, we got to remember that those same Thunder was beating the Clippers last year, y'all.
And didn't they beat the Clippers twice this year in OKC?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Shea been fucking the Clippers up for the last 2 years. Shea been fucking them up.
Big time. He's been the Clippers' daddy. He's hit that game-winning 3 last year, remember? And boogied on the court. Mm-hmm.
So, you know what it is, nephew? What it is people think, look, because everybody want to focus on LeBron. But no, it's not just LeBron. The sun is setting on all of those motherfucking players that, you know, we used to watch in the early 2010s, and now it's the end of the 2010s, beginning of 2020s. Paul George, Kawhi, KD, Kyrie, LeBron, all these niggas are old. They just ain't. The difference is with LeBron, he's still able to put up the same numbers. But you can tell, like last night, he not able to impact winning like he used to. That's what makes him a great player. He's still able to produce numbers-wise like he always did. The impact that caused W's, he's not that. And you see Russell Westbrook game dropping off. You said, it's time for these guys to go.
And also, want to hear this G Money McNugget? I'm going to throw it to you. The Clippers are dead last in scoring. Think about that. The Clippers are dead last in scoring. When you have PG, The Claw, John Wall, Reggie Jackson, Nick Batum, Terrence Mann, Brandon Boston, Norman Powell, Robert Covington,
the Morris
twin. You should be on the upper echelon in game buckets. This team doesn't share the ball at all. They don't find the open man. I know the Clippers are top 4 in defense, but this is when I use the eye test. Their defense comes and goes. You know what I mean? Their defense comes and goes, man. They don't close out sometimes. They foul a lot. This team is a clusterfuck, man.
It's kind of like, I got a buddy and an uncle that are Denver Bronco fans, and they like, man, our defense is great. I'm like, yeah, y'all giving up 16 points a game, but you only scoring 14.
And here's the thing, and the Clippers are 22nd in shooting the ball in field goal percentage. That is blasphemy. 22nd in field goal percentage when you have that much talent on your team. And they're only 13th in rebounding. When you have Zubac and Kawhi and PG and John Wall that can rebound the ball, you gotta be a better rebounding team than that, man. I mean, that's just unacceptable. Like, that's just unacceptable if you're the Clippers, though. Like, you're 22nd in shooting, you're virtually bottom of the barrel in scoring. I mean, they're inconsistent in close games. Ty Lue looked lost this year. His rotations are kind of questionable. Like, come on, man. Like, this team when healthy should be contending for a world crown on ABC in June. Instead, this team may be watching The Price is Right after the play-in if they don't get the head out their ass. Come on.
Right. Hey, look, they gonna be watching The Price is Right and clapping for the draft because they gonna get one.
Even look at this, guys. Even look at this. The Blazers and the T-Wolves are half game back of the Clippers. That's unacceptable.
Well, we'll talk about we'll talk about the T-Wolves in another video because, yeah.
And also Blazers too. Portland's a half game back of LA too. Portland and Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, somebody just. John Wall has had John Wall has had a half a good game as a Clipper. I can't even lie. Yeah, he has had one half of a good game since the Clipper.
Yeah.
He has not put a full good game. He even did that in Houston. He put a full good game together. He put a few full good games together in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And also, Daquan C hit it right on the money. Rebound takes effort, and plus, there's no leadership on this team. 100 facts after facts.
I mean, well, of course, ain't no leadership on team. You got two prima donnas on there. What do you expect?
Agree. Yeah, that's true. And
You
these
got
guys
to,
need to be accountable,
one
man.
aspect about leadership. You know, during my time in the military, you have to be there for your people.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's real talk. You can't be no leader. You not there. They look at you a certain way when you're not out there with them.
Right. And even when they're there, they don't connect. Even when they're there, Paul George, Kawhi, and John Wall don't fit consistently, man. Even when they're there.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you got Paul dominant guys on the same team, I mean.
Yeah, I totally agree with, because I was looking at something one day when I was watching the game. I was like, hey man, it was one game they playing with John Wall could have been scoring like a motherfucker. Kawhi wouldn't give him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Only person with the ball was Paul George. I said, man, see, that's the problem. Just you and Paul was playing together this summer. Y'all should have played together with Kawhi too. I was like, Kawhi need to understand. Kawhi need to understand now you got a point guard. You don't have to do as much.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Now I was saying real quick, they supposed to be getting easy layups and easy setup scores because John Wall is running the offense, but they don't do that. It's like you said, what the fuck Alou doing?
They play iso. They play too much iso ball, man.
John Wall is only averaged 22 minutes a game. How are you supposed to? I mean, look, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players averaging over 20 minutes a game.
That's not enough chemistry. That's not enough chemistry neither. Yeah.
Los Angeles Clippers.
Sterling Young, what you got? Sterling Young, what you got?
Yeah, salute everybody. For me, it just seeing this is just sad, because seeing how the Clippers play, they need to start, playing better, smart, playing consistent, and these turnovers had to stop. The rebounding had to get better, take shots to smarter, but for Kawhi, he has Kawhi, him, dealing with the low management is getting a little tiring. It's like, dude, is you gonna play or what?
Agreed.
It's like NBA ain't gonna stop for no one. So he has to, because I know, he's 31. He's 31. Be 32 in summer with a 43-year-old body.
Agreed.
And y'all not subject to one LVC. I put his link in the chat, y'all.
Subscribe to LVC. Subscribe to LVC. Smash. And also smash those likes for my man LB and LVC. Smash those likes.
Definitely.
If you not subscribe to LB channel, you're an idiot.
I gotta definitely.
Yeah, because Kawhi's issues regenerative. It's only gonna get worse as he gets.
Hold on. Would you say LVC was up?
I said I gotta definitely back up what he just said about motherfucking them not playing about the turnovers. That go back again to what young brother was saying about motherfucking Ty Lue. Bro,
no adjustments.
First of all, you supposed to be the coach. You supposed to have been a point guard. You off the break supposed to know that, look, Reggie Jackson is turnover prone. What's his name is turnover prone. The only true ball handler and distributor we got is John Wall. The rest of these dudes is not really playmaker. Paul
Mhm.
George can make plays, but he's not a playmaker for real.
Right. You want to hear this? The Clippers are 19th in turnovers. That's unacceptable.
Man, the Clippers got 7 players averaging double-digit points. How many
Yeah.
teams can say that? How many teams can say that? You got 7 players averaging double-digit points.
But that
You
seems like a
got
lot of people
you
are
got you
having to
got
pick up
you got
slack that
Paul
they should be
you
having to
got
pick up
Paul
from
George
Kawhi.
averaging you got Paul George averaging 23. You got Kawhi averaging 19. You got Powell averaging 16. Morris 13. Wall 11. Jackson 11. Zubac 10. It's more to this. It's the chemistry. It's the leadership. Just like
Well,
y'all was
like
saying,
they're
ain't
off.
nobody.
Right, they're off.
Hey, do
Bro,
y'all think? Hey, you think they fire Tyrone Poole after this year?
They should.
They
They should have
should.
fired
Depends
him
on
with
how
Doc.
far they
They
go.
should have fired him
I
with
will
Doc.
say this. In my opinion, if the Clippers don't win the championship, I think Tyronn Lue's gone.
What if they make
Well,
the
yeah,
finals?
Hey, and I'm gonna add on to that. LB, me personally, bro, I feel like everything is a cohesive unit, right? So I feel like you were sitting right there on the bench when Doc Rivers was calling this. You didn't stop him. You didn't say you didn't agree. You disagreed or anything. I'm firing all of y'all. I'm not keeping not one person under Doc Rivers at all. I'm firing everybody. It's the same fucking poison. It ain't no difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Hey,
also,
look,
right.
now go ahead.
One more thing too. The other problem I have with this Clippers team, this team is not accountable, man, of anything. There's always excuses and come on.
I think that bubble year where basically half the team dropped off and was like, I'm not even going to play in the bubble. I think that was very damning and very exposing of the Clippers.
Right.
People
Now-
talk about people was just showing up on if people were caught at strip clubs when that Lou Williams was caught there. I think
Lemon Pepper
Montrezl
Lou.
Harrell was like,
Lemon
I
Pepper
don't
Lou,
know what's
yeah.
going on there. I think it's
Now-
just a unit that
Can
ain't
we
really
be honest?
solid.
Can we be honest? Can we be honest? Is honestly the Clippers championship to them, like what they was worried about, was just being better than the Lakers. They wasn't worried about winning a championship. They was worried about being better than the fucking Lakers, man,
Agreed.
and that's it.
Little brother syndrome.
Yeah,
They
but
have little brother syndrome, man. That's right on the head. They have little brother
That was
syndrome.
the monkey.
Really
That
only
was the
care
monkey
about the
that was the
who
monkey
are
that they was
sharing
worried
staples
about
with.
getting off their back. They were
Right.
tired of being the little brother to the Lakers, other than tired of being the worst and losing this team in the league. They were more worried about, oh, now we're better than the Lakers in LA than winning the championship. They just cared about beating the Lakers in the season. They didn't care about beating
Agreed.
nobody else.
And also, I want to throw it out
Yeah.
there too. Do you know the Clippers are terrible in afternoon games? Have you noticed that every time they play an afternoon game, they come out like mummies? They come out so slow.
Yeah. Now,
I feel like, bro, this make us go back. You know, we can say Montre. A lot of people gave Montrezl Harrell a lot of flack, like, oh, he's an idiot. He stirred up all this shit, and what we was complaining.
No, Trez was telling the
Well,
motherfucking
they
truth.
haven't won nothing. He hasn't won nothing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Trez was telling the truth.
to put up with this premium. He haven't done shit here, somewhere else.
Yeah, you know, Montrezl Harrell best season was with the Clippers, and they was infighting. They was infighting a whole bunch of figure pointing there. But there's a quote when Gideon was like, "Hey man, there's no accountability." But of course, there ain't no accountability when your best players, your so-called leaders of the team, ain't accountable themselves. So how can you
Yes,
say
they
that?
Yeah, and it leaks down to the whole team, and it showed from the
Fish
bubble year,
rots
and
from the
it's
head
been the
down.
same ever since.
right.
If
Now-
you ain't got a guy up top that's like, I'm willing to like play through stuff, I'm willing to play with whatever condition they throw at me and get the dub, then the people who are under him are not going to be the type of people who are going to want to follow him or sacrifice or do things like that. Like it seems like on paper it's a squad that should go deep in the playoffs but it just doesn't seem like enough of a group of leaders holding people accountable.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now what? Now what?
On that thing, we keep saying the word leaders, and we all admitting that the only person that ever led a team on there is John Wall, and he hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. If we being a hundo, the only person that was ever considered a leader on that team was John Wall when he was a leader to the Wizards. Paul George wasn't even the leader he was the best player, but the leader was David West. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kawhi, he was the best player. The leader was Kyle Lowry and Van Vliet and them. Mm-hmm. So what they got a team full of good players and no leaders, and that's why y'all saying good shit like these niggas don't never seem to be accountable. It seemed like all they wanted to do was beat the Lakers. And then another thing, let's go back to the bubble. You had the best record in the league, and when it came time to finish the job, everybody gave you the excuse by saying, "Oh, they ain't feel like going, so it's okay that they can lose." Well, no. I have to put that out there. That of course, it ain't a big deal to them when we literally have fans making excuses for them why they didn't want to win in the bubble.
You know what I hated? It seemed like it became a trend, right? Mental health became an excuse.
Yeah.
Mental health, bro. And this the thing. Shouldn't y'all have spoke up on this before you even got drafted? They asked you these questions, sir. Do you have mental health issues? So you kept it a secret until you got in the league and got paid and then said, "Oh, I got mental health issues." That's some bullshit.
Yeah. And people only bring it up when they down or getting criticized. They never bring it up when they're in a situation where they're free from criticism.
Look, the world is so the world. They got the world where they want it. The world like how LB talk. They think like, oh, that's harsh. No, it's not. The world is just too damn sensitive to where you can't tell no one's the truth. It was something called constructive criticism when I was growing up.
Right. Tough love when we was coming up.
Yeah, you know, when you went down there and got your ass beat, your father didn't care who started it. He wanted you to go down there and stop being scared. That was the point. You gonna go down there and stop being scared. It wasn't no I'm a baby you like your mom. Like it's too much mommy shit going on instead of that father treatment. Just like Isaiah said on the interview on the podcast that he had just recently. These coaches, they're too worried about being friends and keeping their job and keeping you happy. They not coaching you. Like he said, I appreciate Bobby Knight for challenging me, letting me know, not giving me the star treatment. See, when you don't give a player the star treatment, you know what they think in their head? This motherfucker don't know who I am. And it makes them go out there and want to prove themselves more and more. That's something that Phil Jackson did to Mike and Kobe and all of them. He made them feel like you ain't did shit. To where you wanted to go out there and repeat and repeat and repeat. These players don't even win championships. All they do is make it to the. We allow these players just to turn the team into a playoff team 1 year probably, and then we'd be like, "Oh my God, he's amazing! He's a superstar." Can we see it like 8 years of consistency and then a couple of rings?
As much as I hate Phil Jackson, I have to agree that is the truth. But the way that he pushed their buttons was by motherfucker always throwing shit at him instead of
controversy. Kobe, you shoot too much. Mike, use your team.
He had to play with some of the biggest.
Phil Jackson shitty.
You have to be pretty diabolical.
That's the thing about that's the coach. Hey, look, and that's the coach's job, bro. You said it right there. The coach's job is to make these guys who think they are the best and no one's better than them to realize he's the number one. You're the number two. You feel me? It's levels to this shit. You are a superstar.
Why?
You are a superstar. You are great, but you're great in your own position, bro. Like you are not. Everyone cannot be the franchise player. And once these players got out of of basically doing what's best for the team, bro. They all carry themselves as a brand. Even the role players, think they are brand. Do you remember Rick Fox? Even look, Rick Fox was
Everybody
doing
got a
movies.
podcast now.
Look, Rick Fox was doing movies, bro. Rick Fox in movies while he was with the Lakers. Do you think he was saying I'm bigger than Shaq and Kobe because I did a couple movies? No, he knew his role still when he was on that basketball
Hell no,
court.
he knew
Rick
better
Fox,
than
hey,
that.
hold on, Trey. Rick Fox was married to Vanessa Williams. You know what I'm saying? How many motherfuckers can say they were married to Vanessa Williams? We all know how
Hey,
bad.
I forgot all about that, LB. Look, he got a superstar wife. He's making movies. But he understands on this court, I'm just motherfucking Rick Fox. I'm not Rick Fox, the movie star. I'm not Rick Fox married to Vanessa. This is Kobe and Shaq team, motherfucker, and I'm just glad to be here. You didn't see players trying to take the bag. See, you got too much of that too. These players say they want championships. Well, let me tell you, it comes with sacrificing more than your stats. Sometimes you got to sacrifice that bag too.
It's
They
true.
try to build the brand before they actually.
Which I think
Like, the Lakers are box office, but the 03 Lakers were box office because they were winning. It's like during that rebuild Lakers, like those young guys are acting like they're superstars. Like y'all just came out of like being a lottery team, like 3-4 straight
Thank you,
years.
bro. The role players, look, the role players and the bench players, you knew what they knew? If we win championships, I'm gonna get the money I deserve. They didn't like put their foot on the team neck. They said, you know what? If I just come back next season and average 4 more points, just somewhere if I improve and I help my team advance, they're going to pay me because they're going to see my hard work. These players want you to just pay them off of the what if, off their talent, off of their expectations.
All right, so I think we cooked enough on how many problems this team had. I'm gonna start with LVZ, right? If you, L, you still online?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, how the Clippers fix this shit?
Trade these niggas.
The question is like, how much draft
I'm
capital
trying to get LVZ take on it. Go ahead, bro.
Well, it's like this to me, like the brother just said, but you can't trade everybody, y'all, because ain't nobody gonna want to damage a motherfucker that's gonna be load managing every motherfucking year. So it's almost over with Kawhi shit. So
I had to give up so much for Paul.
Right. So what I would do right now, I try to pony up a deal with Paul George, Zubac, and Norman Powell, and see how much I can get for them three. Cause Paul George still, even though he injury prone, still played more than Kawhi. So I might can get more for him than I can get for Kawhi because they got
took him to the Western Conference Finals.
Right. So I get rid of him. I'm trying to get you got Victor coming in next year, and you got some other good draft choices coming in. I'm gonna try to go all in for the draft because it's over right now. It's over. The chances of you winning the title with these motherfuckers you got, it's gone. It's
Oklahoma is praying so hard on the Clippers' downfall. Like they might have come up with a heist.
You know the only thing, LB, I think that could work, right? You will have to bring someone in that has more statue than Kawhi to where they can say what the fuck is going on. That's the only way that you can switch this. Whoever you bring in, they will have to be the big dog, not nobody that's there that thinks they are.
Mm-hmm.
To only do that, bro, you gotta move Kawhi. You can't
No. You don't have to move them. I know it's impossible, but I'm just saying you just have to bring somebody in that got the same. See, Paul George don't have no rings, but you have to bring a champion in to where Kawhi can't say no. You feel what I'm saying? Like you have to respect this other champion, bro, and he's gonna come in and that champion gonna have the right to say, bro, you got to come your ass to practice, and I want to see you in the game tomorrow. You feel me? You need somebody that Kawhi just can't say I'm better than you.
I hear what you're saying, but the problem with what you're saying is this. Brother, he played with Tim Duncan.
But see, look, at that time, but that's two different. But I'm going to give you that. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with what I'm saying. I hear you. But I'm saying the personality can't be like that. It can't be a nigga that has that statue but ain't gonna say nothing to you. See, if Timmy was on that team, he would have never did what Tony and Ginobili did. He would have never spoke on Kawhi. He would have never said nothing about the injury. You feel me? And they probably would have never said that if he was on the team. But you need someone that will say something to Kawhi, not out into the media, not putting it out there, but between them, and he respects them. Not he looks at them in no way under him. Just that he looks at them eye to eye, to where if they be like, I need you, dog. Like, I need you. And he feel like, I gotta be there with this nigga, because he gonna respect that they won somewhere else. See, Paul George can't say, I won. I feel like Paul George can't really say, I won. Even though he said he respect Paul George and all that, at the end of the day, if those niggas got into an argument and they start bringing up what they've done, he can shut Paul George down. You need someone that can just say, I won, nigga, without you.
But bro, the problem with that is what you saying sound good. That's not what Kawhi Leonard wants. Kawhi Leonard wants to be the head of the team. And
exactly.
the proof,
you gotta understand, like, Kawhi has so much leverage in the situation. He left a team that he just won a championship
and
on.
that's what would change, you guys. Hey, look, and that's what would change, you guys.
Like,
guess what? That's what would change. That's what would change.
So much leverage with him.
That's what would change. If you bring a champion in, right? And I'm talking about a top 5 type of player. If you bring him in, guess what? You don't mind. You ain't too scared because he can win a championship without Kawhi. So you ain't worried about the games that Kawhi play. And guess what? When this guy come, it puts the heat on Kawhi as that these motherfuckers will really let me go because this motherfucker know what to do. And he's one of those guys.
But again, see, the only problem with what you're saying is when we know he turned down a chance to play with LeBron James. We know
he don't like him. But see, the difference is he don't like him.
Let me finish. He turned down a chance to play with LeBron James. So that is out the window. The only other player that you could be talking about could only be Kevin Durant. That's not happening. Or if he joins the Warriors. And I still see him load managing with the Warriors.
Right. But see, look, if you put him with the Warriors, right, the pressure won't be on him. It'll still be that Steph Curry squad. Like, it'll still be like, oh, Steph Curry is the leader. That's all I'm saying. It'll put the pressure to where Kawhi really, honestly, I believe Kawhi is comfortable with not being the guy. He don't want that role. Even though he end up looking like that guy, that's not him. He enjoys the perks, but he don't really want that pressure.
He was the quintessential Spurs player. It's just near the end of the
like he don't, because look, when if you look at it,
because Pop was kind of pressuring him about his injury, that he thought that Pop was kind of underselling.
Oh yeah, the quad, yeah.
But I'm saying I think the ugly part is that it appears to be they're throwing away the game if they're purposely sitting out their stars, and I think it's very disrespectful, because my question is, who's making decisions when to sit out the players and when to play? Because if it's Kawhi and PG who make the decision for themselves or the team management, because if it's the team management, then they're sabotaging their reputation of their 2-star players on that team, because the people thought they were being the divas.
Agreed. And I don't think Kawhi, and also another problem with this team, I don't think Kawhi and PG are willing to be coached. I really don't think they're willing to be coached.
Because Kawhi is probably done with dealing with a Pop type figure, but that is probably the best type of coach who could get the best out of him. But he's older now. He's not in a system like the Spurs with a cachet and a pedigree to where he's got to get in line because it has a history behind it. He's on a team that's basically a joke for decades. So he is.
I love y'all little bros, but y'all obviously got bad memories. Stop talking about Pop. He just was playing with Nick Nurse, who wasn't doing none of that Pop shit. He got the fuck up out of there, though. He sure did.
He did.
Y'all got y'all gotta look at the writing on the wall. Kawhi, what Brody said is true, that he needs to play with a player, and maybe he don't want to be, but he don't want to be the guy in the sense that I don't want to do no interviews. I don't want you to question me, but I want top billing. I want to be the man on this team. Whenever I'm hurt, I want to take the look. So he wants to have all of the perks of the best player, but he doesn't want to go through the fire that you got to go through when you the best player.
He want to be Tim Duncan with Bron-like shoe deals. But
Agreed.
Tim Duncan wasn't getting Bron-like shoe deals. Why? Because Tim Duncan wasn't the type of guy to be chipper with the media.
Yeah, Tim Duncan was one of those low key.
personality.
Tim Duncan was quiet as a mouse. He was one. Tony Parker, mind you, were just quiet as mouth. They didn't chat too much. They just, they didn't talk a lot. Yeah.
Hey man, another person who we ain't talked about yet?
Who?
I talked about him at the beginning of the video. Lawrence Frank. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Lawrence Frank is so overrated. It's not even funny. I mean, he was supposed to. I mean, think about this, LB. Lawrence Frank. He was supposed to help the Nets with New Jersey win a championship. They failed with Vince Carter, and then now with the Clippers. I mean, he sucked donkey ass with the Pistons, and then now with the Clippers. I agree. His I don't know what he's doing. Like
He's the GM.
The GM. Like, what moves are you? You're not making the proper moves, man. Like, come on.
Places get worse at places he's at. Typically, that seems to have been the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lawrence Frank. Look, Lawrence Frank claimed to fame was he worked with Doc Rivers. The
tree itself should already put you on
it. Your claim to fame can't be you work with a nigga who won one ring. That can't be
and blew
your calling, and that's his claim to fame. Right. If we really think Lawrence Frank ain't done nothing in the league that we respect other than work with Doc Rivers.
Right. Lawrence Frank was also a travesty with the Vancouver Grizzlies, with other teams, the Pistons, Nets. Yeah. As assistant head coach. Yeah.
They've been trying to tell us he was a good coach since he left the Nets the first time.
He's not. He's not a good coach. He's not a good coach, man. Like, come on. How do you not win a title with Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, Jason Kidd? Come on.
Well, what's the thing, right? When you live in the system of white supremacy, only white people can suck at their job and get a promotion. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, El. Because I'm about to say, little bro, stop talking around it. We know that motherfucker never should have had a job at the Nets because they shouldn't have never fired Avery Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Cliff Kingsbury.
He never should have been the Nets.
No, I think they fired Byron Scott. I think they fired Byron Scott. It was Byron Scott before they had Byron Scott. Yeah, it was Byron Scott.
They should have fired Avery Eagle.
Yeah, I think Avery came after Frank. Yeah,
Dallas should have fired Avery Eagle.
Agreed. They let him go way too soon. Yeah,
and then let Rick Carlisle come and do the motherfucker John Gruden. They did him like Tony Dungy. We're gonna let you put the team together, get everything right, and then we're gonna fire you the year before we win the championship.
Yeah. That's like coming in, putting the vase in the house, and then you say
this team needs a playmaker, man. This team, one, they need a playmaker. Two, they need a rim protector off the bench. They have no rim protector off the bench. They need a playmaker, a rim protector off the bench, and also
a rebounder.
And a rebounder. And they need a rebounder. They don't crash the glass well. And to me, when I try to motivate people, I try to use advice more than criticism. When I try to use more advice than criticism. But the problem I have with the Clippers, man, they just, how can I say, they're too cool. They're too cool for school. Okay, this team's too cool for school. They don't see that their coaching doesn't work. They don't move the ball. They don't do enough backdoor cuts. They play hero ball. And the issue I have with this Clippers team, this team, like I said, they're too cool for school. They're not willing to be coached, and that's an issue. The fact that this team is in a play-in tournament is so ridiculous. Think about this. The Sacramento Kings, as LB predicted, are right now in the top 3. Well, I'm not in the West. Think about that. The Sacramento Kings. Think about that.
Yep, I called it.
I honestly
Yeah.
believe that they championship window was that bubble year. And
And it
that's why
was.
I don't
It
want to call the
was.
Lakers championship a Mickey Mouse championship in a sense that they got together and they got their shit in gear and they dealt with the bubble situation and didn't
Thank you.
complain and do other dumb stuff like all the players on the Clippers were doing. So that's why I don't want to call it a Mickey Mouse championship because
Exactly.
all of the
The
teams
ring
had
is
to deal
valid.
with
They
it.
earned it. They earned it. The ring is
All of the
valid.
teams had to deal with the same
I'm
bubble
gonna
situation.
leave
Exactly.
y'all with this.
They won it.
I'm gonna leave
I'm not a
y'all with
Lakers
this real
fan, but
quick.
that's the championship that they won. I will
Yep.
give them.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this real quick before I drop off. To y'all point, niggas tried to shit on that championship and call it this and call it that, but I always said, "Hey, Slim, if Michael Jordan was going through the same thing, they would have said that was the most difficult circumstances to win a championship under. They would have pointed to the fact that it was guys complaining. I don't even want to go back. This, that, and the third. So we taking away, and so that's how stupid people look trying to take away from LeBron and the Lakers for winning that championship.
Right.
When we see now the Clippers ain't been the same ever since.
Exactly.
I don't like the concept of putting asterisks on
Yeah, I
championships.
don't respect that
agree
either.
with you.
All
It's
right,
a
so
championship.
this is another thing I want to talk about when it comes to that bubble ring.
It has
They
to be
all held
multiple
a meeting.
seven-game series.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. They all held a meeting. They all agreed to play. So if that was the case, now I don't hear nobody calling that shit no Mickey Mouse championship.
Exactly. The Lakers ring is valid.
They all agreed to play.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
All the other stuff is goofy. People are saying, "Oh man, it's the bubble ring, man." Well,
LB,
hey,
don't
Everybody
listen
was
to
in
that.
the bubble. All the teams was
Hold on,
in
I
that
ain't done
same
ranting
bubble.
yet. I'm not done ranting yet.
Oh,
Because
sorry.
here's my thing. Had their team won that championship, they wouldn't be calling that no Mickey Mouse ring. So
I agree.
You know, so my thing.
True.
So I mean, everybody need to cut that bullshit out.
But LB, whatever, I'm giving you some advice. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that.
I know I don't listen to that. I know I'm listening. There's a whole bunch of goofy ass motherfuckers ain't talking that bullshit.
I agree. The Lakers ring is valid. They had a tough playoff road. They beat a hot Blazers team, a hot Rockets team. They beat the Nuggets, who came back from 3-1 twice. They beat a underrated Heat team. The Lakers ring is valid.
All right, so I don't want to talk about the Lakers on the Clippers video. All right, so I don't be going down the rabbit hole about the Lakers and all that, right? But my thing is this, right? You mentioned something about motive, right? Motive comes from within. I should not have to motivate you to go play, right? Because motive should come from within. I should be, if I'm getting all the perks, all the accolades, all the pomp and circumstance that comes with this contract and making me the proverbial face of the organization, then it should be within me to want to go out there and play. It should not take the coach. It shouldn't take the GM. It shouldn't take anybody else to motivate me to go play. I should be wanting to be out there.
Agreed.
The Clippers had the mindset of, "Oh, we'll just run it back next year. Next year is not guaranteed. Tomorrow ain't guaranteed. You don't know what the league is gonna be like in one offseason. Everything can pick up. So they did not capitalize in what was really their best chance to win.
Even 2021.
From here, it was really all. I really thought it's all down. It was all downhill from that.
Right.
They're just grasping at straws at this point.
Right. Even 2021 was their best. Another chance they should have won that they could have gone to a title. Like 2021. I mean, they barely got past.
That's the year that's the year Kawhi tore his ACL.
That's a good point, yeah. Right. I'm saying that's another year that they could have won a title. That's what I'm saying. So, but I agree with what's your name, man?
K Emmanuel. I'm K Emmanuel in the chat.
Not to see you again, Kate. Yeah, I agree. 2020 was a legit chance for them to win a championship, though. You're up 3-1 on the Nuggets. You're up 16 in game 5.
Yeah, all those games they were up double digits.
Exactly.
Game 7 was up like 19 points.
Yeah, game 6 they were up 19. Game 5,
game
16.
6.
Game 7 were up double digits and lose. And not only did they lose games, they lost by double digits. How's that possible? How do you lose by double digits and get blown out?
Of a unit that was not cohesive and was not focused and was not fully there together.
Agreed. And this team, and another issue I have with this Clippers team, this team is all drama. It's always drama with this team. Something with Paul George, something with Kawhi, something with John Wall, like something with Ty Lue. Good golly, Miss Molly. Like can this team go a whole year without drama? Like this team whines too much, make excuses, complain of foul calls and all that. I don't know, man. The fact that this team right now is dead last in scoring. Think about this, guys. Dead last in scoring with this type of talent is unacceptable. And the problem here is that their bench has been inconsistent. Their role players have been horrible. This season's been kind of horrible to say the least. And they don't ball pressure enough, guys. They ball watch. They have no real rim protect other than Zubac. It's a mess, man.
All right, I guess we repeating the same thing over and over again. So at that point, I'm thinking it's time to end the stream. We going around in circles. Go ahead, Kate, man. You give me your final thoughts on this situation with the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers, bouncing off the other guy's point, they are just way too filled with drama. It feels like this team thinks it's Hollywood, but it's really just all of the worst parts of Hollywood. The rumor mongering, the unearned confidence, the shit talking and not backing it up. It's like you can shit talk if you back it up. They don't back it up. It's a team that's undisciplined, and I think the only option would be retool. I don't think with the two top guys up there they can go any further, especially with this West getting better and better and younger and younger and further into their prime now. This is the team that's on the downhill slope. That's really all I got to say about it.
All right. Sterling Young, give me your final thoughts on this situation with the Clippers.
To be honest, I don't know about the rest of Watch, but I believe, Kawhi's knees are just a lot worse than what reporters has been saying. I feel like I said, it's just so frustrating, their joke. And I said the Clippers are a joke. So I don't get what was I don't really get that. And they should just break up the whole thing after the season. I don't see how they can go into the final this year or next year or after. Sometimes you gotta do this when things don't work out. We go from the beginning. Just start from scratch.
All right, Gideon.
One salute Sterling, salute K, salute LB. Nice to see you again. This Clippers team, man, they gotta find a common ground. If this team doesn't win a title or at least get to the NBA Finals, I agree. They gotta break this team up because it's been long. It's been long overdue. 4 years. Come on, 4 years for Kawhi and PG, and you haven't cracked the code yet. Like this team needs to find. This team needs to find that tiger, find that lion, and play with intensity. This team needs a playmaker, and this team needs to learn to trust each other. This drama-filled situation is craziness. And the fact that this team is not even accountable for any mistake they do is bad. And if this team doesn't go deep in the playoffs, you might need to let go of Ty Lue, and who knows, maybe Lawrence Frank might need to go too. So this team needs to fix their issues now, needs to be willing to be coached, needs to, play up to the level and turn the ship around now.
For me, I appreciate everyone for coming on. LVZ, you know what I'm saying? Go subscribe to the one LVZ. That's my homie right there, you know what I'm saying? He kicks his basketball knowledge just as well, if not better than I can. So go subscribe to him. He also has a bevy of channels that you can also subscribe to, like LVZ, No Buck Dancing, and Loud Talk, amongst others. K. Manuel, appreciate you for coming on. Sterling Young, Gideon, Trade Knights, always a pleasure for you to come on. I appreciate everyone for watching this video and hitting that like button and subbing to the channel. We trying to build, we trying to grow this thing together, because without you, I'm just another Bama on here talking. Period. And as far as the Clippers go, they suck. They fucking suck. They didn't blow this whole shit up. Now, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. All right.